Hello viewers, welcome back to our channel Walking Thoughts Nebraska. For our video this week, we're going to share with you our sunrise hike at Big Bend National Park. Remember from our previous video, we showed with you our road trip from Lincoln, Nebraska to Texas. And now that we are here in Big Bend National Park, we want to share with you our adventures here. Big Bend National Park is an American national park located in West Texas, bordering Mexico. So we're going to try and see if we could look out to a town that borders National Park that is already in Mexico, and then look at the different sites here too. And here's the entrance sign, welcome to Big Bend. So the Airbnb that we rented is just about 20-minute drive from this entrance sign. And we woke up a little bit early because here in Texas it's going to be hot and humid. It's summertime. We didn't realize how hot it was going to be here in Texas, but since we're already here, look around us. We're going to enjoy our sights here. We specifically made sure that we're going to be here early morning, so then we could avoid the heat as much as we can. The park has national significance as the largest protected area in the Chihuahuan Desert topography and ecology in the United States. It was named after the large bend of the Rio Grande. So that is really one of the questions we asked our park ranger, why it was called Big Bend. So the park ranger did tell us that basically because of the big bend in the river, and they named it after that. Look at that sunrise, isn't it beautiful? So we went here before the sunrise, and now on our way in, even before we reach our first hiking spot, the sun is already rising. So we're already starting to feel the heat, but we'll beat it. We'll try to make sure that we are on our first hiking spot before it's all out. The park encompasses an area of 801,163 acres entirely within Brewster County. For more than 1,000 miles, the Rio Grande forms the boundary between Mexico and United States, and Big Bend National Park administers approximately 118 miles along that boundary. Because the Rio Grande serves as an international boundary, the park faces unusual constraints while administering and enforcing park rules and regulations. So when you're here, know that you're able to see immigration officers, or they're going to have some checkpoints. Here we are on our first spot, our first trailhead. As we shared with you, we are not veteran hikers. We are more of novice, or we've been hiking for several years now, but it's really more of the shorter routes. So know that the hikes that we're going to show you here are the hikes that are about 1 mile or a mile and a half, or no more than 2 miles. So stick around, join us for our hikes too. We first hiked the Window Trail, which is a loop trail. I think it was less than 1.2 or maybe even less than 1 mile. And this is paved since we have a senior citizen with us who's really using her walking stick just to be able to join us. So we started with this hike because it's just a loop trail around this desert area, and then we're going to have a longer hike later, and our senior citizen friend is going to just stay put, and then we'll go on out on the hike. When we checked in with the park ranger, they did tell us about the climate and the heat here in the desert area. They told us that whatever we think will be enough for us to drink, or water enough for us to drink, we have to double it. So just remember that you have to make sure that you have enough hydration. Even though this is a short hike, it could get on you. Here's our first vista. So we're going to pause here, take our time to look at the scenes and look at what nature we have here. Then we're going to start going again. I think this is one of those points where we have to make a loop around, or this is the point where you do a U-turn so that you could go back to your starting point. Along this trail, they do have some information like that, so you get to be able to know about water sources, information, what animals to look out for, what type of plants you're going to see here. This is more of the desert part of the Big Bend, and they're going to share with you a lot of information. So if you want, go look out for that. And the sun's almost up, and we're just on our first hike of the day, so keep on joining us. Okay, now I think we're about in the end of our first loop. That was just the window trail for you to be able to have a glimpse of this area. And then you get to choose some longer trails too. There are like a 5-mile trail or 6-mile trail, but there's also like a 1.9 or almost 2.1-mile trail, and that's the one that we're going to go to next. And here it is. This is the one that we're going to go next. The park ranger did tell us that some of the parts of the trails going like a little bit hilly, so we want to be able to make sure that we do counterclockwise so that we get to the hilly parts first, like just when we're starting, and then the non-hilly parts when we're going down, so that it'll be easier on us. On this trail though, I think we did clockwise instead of counterclockwise, but whichever way, it took us about a little over an hour to be able to complete this trail. More about the hot climate here. The park exhibits dramatic contrasts, and its climate may be characterized as one of the extremes. It's still early in the morning, we could feel the heat, but we're still okay and we have enough hydration. I can't stress that enough. Make sure you have water with you. Winters here are normally mild, and the park ranger shared with us that typically they get it around fall. They get visitors around fall, winter, and spring. Summer not so much, and we didn't realize that, but we're here for the summer, so we're going to make the best of it. The river that form here in the southern boundary include the spectacular canyons of Santa Elena, Moriscos, and Boquillas, and later we're going to have a video about Boquillas. one of the things that the park ranger informed us is that stay on the trail and look for those trail marks. So you see the trail marks, it will tell you where to go and which trail you're following. You want to make sure that you are always referencing that. It is really going to be hard if you get lost here. This is the desert and you don't want to be at a situation where you're going to need rescued. This is a vast park and it could take time to be able to get to you, and you don't want that happening. So make sure you stay on the trail and look for the marks or follow the signs. Background history here on the Big Bend. During the early historic period before 1535, several Indian groups or Native American groups were recorded as inhabiting the Big Bend. The Chisos Indians were loosely organized groups of nomadic hunters and gatherers who probably practiced limited agricultural on a seasonal basis. And I would think so too, just because of how hot it is. Probably by the time the weather is turning hot, they're like, oop, we're off. The origin of the Chisos Indians is not known. Linguistically, they were associated with the Conchos Indians of northern Chihuahua and northwestern Coahuila. They spoke a member of Uto-Aztecan language, the family of whose speakers range from central Mexico to the Great Basin of the United States. So you could really see why this is going to be one of the borders. This is, at the time, land that is really belonging to whoever was the native inhabitants of the area, and that could have been people mainly from of Mexican origin. Okay, we're seeing another sign, so we're going to make sure that we follow that so that we could stay within our trail and stay on our loop. Remember, always make sure that you are following the trail. This is not the area and not the time to be adventurous on your own and then finding yourself lost in the desert. So stick to the trail and follow the signs. Okay, more history. The European presence in the region begins around 1535 AD with the first Spanish explorations into this portion of North America was recorded. The expedition of Alvar Nunes Cabeza de Vaca passed near the Big Bend and was followed by other expeditions. Some of these expeditions were searching for gold and silver or farmed and ranched the land. We didn't get any information with regard to the gold and silver found in the area, but that might be something you're interested in. You could always get in touch with a park ranger. They actually are very visible here in the park. From our entrance to the offices, there are always willing park rangers to respond or answer our questions. Okay, I think we're about to end our loop here. We're going to go to our parking space next, and then we're going to hit another hiking trail or the Boquillas Canyon area as well. So stay with us, we have more to share. Cultural resources in the park range from the Paleo-Indian period, 10,500 years ago, through the historic period represented by the Native American groups like Chisos, like I mentioned, and more recently, Spanish, Mexican, Anglo, and Irish settlers farmed, ranched, and mined the area. So you're going to see a mixture here. So here we are on our way to the Boquillas Canyon. That is where we're going to see the Rio Grande and then the town of Boquillas in Mexico that is bordering this park. Throughout the prehistoric period, humans found shelter and maintained open campsites throughout the park. There are actually camping areas here. So if you are into camping and you know how to survive in the wild, I will say the wild, then this is a good spot to be. I think it will really look very good in the evening when you're trying to watch the stars. But that is, you want to make sure that you are someone who could really handle it. So from our hike and the drives we've been so far, looking around you, you're really going to see different types of plants, different flora and fauna. Despite its harsh environment, Big Bend has more than 1,200 species of plants, including 60 cactus species, over 600 species of vertebrates, and about 3,600 insect species. And you could really see it and feel it here in the park. So you want to make sure you have your bug spray, and you want to make sure that you are very alert when it comes to looking out for animals around the area you're hiking at or even the area you're parked at. The variety of cactus and other plant life add color to the Big Bend region, and you could really see it. They did say too that fall colors here are amazing. So if you're someone who don't like to be here in the summer, which I think for us is going to be the first and last. If we're going to go back, we're going to go at a different season just because of the heat. But they said that the fall colors is something that tourists come here too. So watch out for that too. And here we are at the Boquillas Overlook. You could see that across there is this village of Boquillas, Mexico, just across the Rio Grande. So the river, you're going to see that it's a little bit dry, but that's the Rio Grande down there. You're going to see it. You see that body of water there, that's a Rio Grande, and across is Boquillas, Mexico. There are houses there, and you could see it if you do binoculars, but they do have some wares and trades here that they are open to the public. It's an honest system. You just put the money, they have the prices there, and they trust that you're going to give them the right price. We're going to stay here for a little bit, not only for picture taking so that we could have a souvenir photo, but also because we want to look at the wares. So we're going to have another video of Big Bend, of our adventure here at Big Bend National Park. This is just the first part of the many adventures we had here. Thank you for joining us and for always being with us when we do this type of hikes and adventures. So remember to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and notification bell as well. That way, whenever we have a new video, you'll be updated. We'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks for joining us.